Hello everyone, welcome to Inside Hannibal. I'm your host, Whitney Branstetter. For over 30 years, Steve Ayers has made beautiful pottery with you in mind. In this Hannibal studio, Steve Ayers molds and shapes ordinary balls of clay into mugs and bowls that are both beautiful and practical. When you look at this ball of clay, you probably only see a ball of clay. But Steve Ayers of Ayers Pottery in downtown Hannibal sees the potential. He has the ability to shape something so plain, so ordinary, into something beautiful and unique.
I was lucky enough that when I was in high school, a man came through who was also in college doing his student teaching and getting an art degree. He had started off as a potter, had a little shop set up, and invited anybody from that class to go up and see the studio. I was taking the art class because it was easier than study hall, but once I went to his studio, saw him work, I just fell in love with it and worked for him for 2 summers and went on as an art major to Northeast Missouri, and have been doing it ever since.
Ayers has made pottery for over 30 years. 25 of those years inside this quaint studio. His love for crafting beautiful and colorful pieces of pottery may have started years ago in that high school art class, but Ayers is still passionate about pottery, and his goal is to make items that are creative and practical, cups, bowls, and plates that are meant to be used.
We make functional pottery primarily. Dinnerware, soup mugs, coffee mugs, serving bowls, platters. We're very, very functional, intended for people to use, microwave, oven, dishwasher safe. We intend for people to use it. We sometimes make fancier pieces, some arty pieces, but that's not what the backbone of our work is. By far, the best-selling pot is the Bread Baker, and it has been the #1 seller for over 25 years. It's knock on wood that should ever change. Everyone should have a Bread Baker. We're going to give you a card that goes with it that tells you how to use it. We're going to give you another card that has 101 uses for your Bread Baker, of which only about 10% are actually baking bread. You can do vegetables in it, baked beans, it'll go in the microwave, you can do scalloped potatoes, you can do a whole variety of things. The Bread Baker is so durable that 10,000 years from now, when they're sifting through the ashes, what was once our civilization, they're going to uncover hundreds of Bread Bakers because they hold up so well. It'll at that point be considered the high point of our civilization.
This shop is filled with pieces that are enjoyed by tourists from all over the world.
It's been a great little shop. We sell tourists, we travel to art fairs, we sell wholesale, special orders, we do business premium gifts, we do a ton of online work, so it's a very diverse business.
While Hannibal now has several local artists using downtown spaces to create art, Ayers may have been one of the first to appreciate the inspiration of this small Midwestern town. Chances are, if you're a coffee lover, you might have wrapped your hands around a local piece of art without even knowing it. At Jive, coffee is served in mugs made at Ayers Pottery. Keith Miller has a story about a place that claims to be the first coffee shop west of the Mississippi.
In a town that is very laid back and quiet, there's a place you can go to have a good time and share a few laughs.
Jive is a coffee shop. We've been in Hannibal for 10 years this spring, and it's a good place to hang out, enjoy music, and see some local artwork. People get really excited. They love the atmosphere. That's the #1 thing we hear the most is, oh, it's so warm, it's so inviting, it's more comfortable. We pride ourselves in our junky used furniture that we rotate in and out as holes develop, and nothing matches, but that's the way we like it. We always go for the ugliest pieces of furniture that we can find. That's our favorite.
Jive is a local company in partnership with Ayers Pottery, a business owned and operated by the Ayers family.
It was actually my dad's. He wanted to expand the pottery store, and he wanted to do something that would put the pottery in people's hands. So a coffee shop was a perfect fit. We serve all of our coffee in Ayers Pottery mugs and all of our desserts on Ayers Pottery plates.
Small coffee shop attracts customers from all around the region.
We have a lot of local regional tourists, which we are within like a 2-hour radius. So a lot of St. Louis, Springfield, Columbia, but we also have a lot of tourists from overseas, a lot of people from Asia, Japanese mainly, and then also a lot of Chinese as well. They're all big Mark Twain lovers. So it's always interesting. We always have a lot of Europeans as well. So it's fun to get to talk to people and learn about where they're from.
In addition to a friendly staff and cozy couches, Jive is obviously all about the coffee. You can order up an espresso, a cappuccino, or just a regular cup of joe.
We offer coffee, ice cream, tea, pastries, lots of non-coffee drinks like sodas and Italian sodas, fruit smoothies, pretty much anything you can name that can be made with coffee or tea. We get our coffee from Jive Coffee. They are a 4th generation roaster out of St. Louis. We've been with Jive Coffee for 15 years. They're actually our source for all of our beans and our syrups. They're kind of our one-stop shop. Our best seller is probably a Milky Way cappuccino, and its best seller either is a hot drink, an iced drink, or a frozen drink where it's blended in the blender. But our new espresso milkshake is kind of creeping up on that list.
And so whether you're getting your morning shot of caffeine or just looking for a comfortable place to hang out with friends, this is one coffee shop that claims to be like no other. Jive says they're the first coffee shop west of the Mississippi.
That's kind of a joke claim to fame. We claim that we were the first because we're the first when you come across the river. We were by far not the oldest west of the Mississippi, but we were the first when you cross the river. When we had the old bridge that dumped at the end of Main Street, it was a little bit more accurate because it was right when you came across the bridge, but we still like to make that claim. We still get a lot of tourists that actually take pictures under the window so they can be at the first coffee shop. We always try to correct that.
So whether you dare to find a coffee shop closer to the Mississippi or not, Jive is a local favorite you don't want to miss. For KHLG, I'm Keith Miller.
Next is a place that's guaranteed to make you feel like a kid in a candy store, no matter how old you are. At Paddlewheel Popcorn, Greg and Diane Addison create a variety of popcorns and candy that's guaranteed to satisfy that sweet tooth.
Welcome to Paddlewheel, a simple company that is finding success in appealing to your sweet tooth.
We happen to be in McKinney, Texas, down by Dallas, and we were looking, we have several buildings here in town, so we were looking for something else to bring to Main Street that wasn't here. And there was a candy store, but they went out of business just about the time we were down there and saw this, the popcorn and candy concept that they had and decided that would be perfect. So we did some research and found a guy that trained us how to make the popcorn really well, and that's kind of the backbone of what we do. And then we've got 200 or 300 types of candies that we sell too, and then we do fudge.
The historic charm of Paddlewheel's building is a part of what makes it appealing, but the real treat is a sample for every customer that walks through the door.
But we offer a sample of caramel corn to everybody that comes in the door. And the first thing you put it in their hand, it's nice and warm. And then they comment, first thing is, oh, it's so nice and warm. And then they'll talk about, oh, it was their grandmother that used to make caramel corn or something like that. And you'd be surprised how many people are caramel corn experts, and they'll come in first and they want to let you know that they really know popcorn. And you know, they're not going to be impressed, and they are every time you give it to them.
Addison says the key to making great popcorn is choosing quality ingredients. And over the years, Paddlewheel has tweaked its recipe for a crowd-pleasing batch of popcorn every time.
When I come in the morning, first thing I usually do is start to warm everything up, especially this time of the year. We use big, like 5-gallon buckets of coconut oil. We'll put water in the caramel corn machine. That's the first ingredient we start with. Bring it up to a certain temperature, let it boil actually. In that we put a mixture of brown sugar, corn syrup, and let that boil to a certain temperature, brings up, it gets to the caramelized stage. We'll add butter, turn on the mixer, let it mix, it just boils up until that time. When it gets to another certain temperature, dump the popcorn in, and that's really where it mixes.
At Paddlewheel, the options are endless, with popular and traditional varieties, as well as a little taste of Hannibal.
We have butterscotch, cheddar cheese, cinnamon, white cheddar, spicy cheddar, which is a cayenne base, Tom Sawyer. A lot of ours are named after the Mark Twain characters. We are here on Main Street in Hannibal, but Tom Sawyer is just a standard caramel corn. Then we have a Tom and Huck, which is Tom Sawyer's our caramel, Huck Finn's our cheddar cheese. Mix them together, it's Tom and Huck. It's really a popular combination and really good.
So whether you're a candy fanatic or caramel corn lover, chances are this is one store that will make your life a little sweeter. For KHLG, I'm Keith Miller.
At the Brick Oven on Center Street in Hannibal, their name says it all. This authentic Italian restaurant fires up a real wood-burning brick oven for lunch and dinner. It's a great place to go for a taste of Italy.
We've been open 2 years in April. We went to Italy about 5 years ago, fell in love with it. We just love good food, good wine, and thought we'd try something new in Hannibal.
A passion for good Italian food is the reason why the Ashbys opened the Brick Oven in Hannibal. Their goal is to give customers a taste of Italy without ever having to make that 5,000-mile trip. The food here is truly authentic, with nearly everything finished in an open brick oven.
We do our dough daily and our sauces, and meatballs are my husband's father's recipe. We cook with oak. My dad brings the oak in every day for us. If you haven't seen the oven, it's going right now, ready for the pizzas to be thrown in. 5 o'clock we open. It's just a nice thin crust, very fresh ingredients. The best mozzarella we can find in the area. We get a lot of our desserts from the Hill at a bakery in St. Louis. It's just good food.
The oven is a major part of what makes the atmosphere here special.
The brick oven actually weighs 4,500 pounds. We did face it with the brick, but we start the fire every morning around 9 a.m. It's still warm, unless we're closed that day, the day before. And the goal is someday to also bake our own bread. I get on TripAdvisor a lot, and I get reviews, and people say it's just like Italy. It feels like walking into Italy, so that makes us happy.
Bringing this fine dining destination to Hannibal was a risky decision, but the Ashbys say making the brick oven a reality was something new and exciting for the entire family.
He was in the car business, I was in the RV business, and what's the worst that can happen? It's something you love. If it doesn't work, you have a lot of food and you have a brick oven you can put in your backyard. You know, you got to take a chance in life. And you know, we're middle-aged, and we said, let's do it.
So check out all that makes the brick oven unique. Great customer service and quality Italian food right here in downtown Hannibal. That's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us. I'm Whitney Brandstetter.